Hello, thank you so much for tuning into interview two. Thank you also for watching Heroine. The reason why I wanted to do this series of interviews was because I wanted to look at what's happening for service members today. So, people who are similar to Dana, but of course in the UK. To that end, we've got the wonderful Emma Norton with us. Thank you so much for doing this, Emma. It's great.
Thank you for having
Um, Emma is one of the people who are really on the coalface of change about what's happening today for service personnel in the UK. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about her in case you didn't have a chance to have a look at her bio yet. So, you might remember between 1995 and 2002, there were 4 British Army recruits who died at Deep Cut Barracks near Guildford in England. Emma was the lawyer representing the bereaved families of 3 of those recruits. And also, it's been in the news recently that there may be a 5th. Also, as she was head of legal at Liberty, the UK human rights organisation, we also have a connection over a certain trial that she represented the families for, and that was the inquest over Anne-Marie Element. She was a military police officer, and sadly, she was the victim of sexual assault and then later took her own life. That inquest revealed a culture steeped in bullying, sexualization, and abuse. After that, she set up and is head of the Centre for Military Justice and continues to represent victims of sexual assault in the British Armed Forces. So thank you very much for coming to talk to me. I hope I got all that right.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks very much.
Great. So Emma, would you mind talking about the extent of the problem today in the UK?
Sure. I think it's quite a difficult topic to talk about for a number of different reasons. One of the problems is that the Ministry of Defence, the MOD here, doesn't publish and doesn't collate and publish really good comprehensive data on the extent of the problem. So we are reliant on what they do publish, and they do publish something. Other piecemeal bits of work that are being done in various different locations, and obviously the experiences of our clients and the women that contact us and tell us what has happened to them, in order to understand the extent of the problem. So one of the problems, for example, is that the Ministry of Defence only publishes data about sexual assault cases that the military authorities handle themselves, and in the UK, an allegation of sexual assault can usually go in one of 2 ways. It can either go through the military system, or we call the service justice system, or it can go through the civilian system. We say they should all be going through the civilian system, of course. But the MOD is only publishing data in respect of the military stuff. So already you are preventing yourself from understanding the full extent of the problem. And the other issue is that they're not publishing the whole gamut of what you or I would understand to be sexual offences. So, for example, they're not publishing data about possession of child sexual abuse images, extreme pornography, revenge porn, criminal harassment offences, those kinds of things. So we don't have a complete picture. But what we do know is obviously very concerning. And we can say that there are a number of aspects to it which will be unsurprising to you. Clearly, the overwhelming majority of victims are females. There are many other. There seems to be some sort of process whereby an offence can be reported as a sexual offence, and then get sort of downgraded to becoming a non-sexual offence, like an assault, and be dealt with that way. And that's obviously very concerning for a number of different reasons. The majority of these offences are happening in the UK. They're not happening on overseas operations or on overseas training. And we know that conviction rates are very, very low, particularly in rape cases. So, for example, in the last 5 years, of all of the rape cases that got to a final trial at court martial, just 10% resulted in a conviction. And that is really, really low, even by very low rates in the civilian system, which we know are also very, very low. It pales in comparison to that. So that's some general observations there.